Basic beginners tenor guitar and baritone ukulele, Chicago tuning DGBE, perfect timing, a focused approach, book 1, and this is lesson 3, part 2. I'm going to rehash just a little here. Again, I'm going to read this first paragraph, which kind of restates what we had done on the previous page. End of the last lesson, again, without trying to explain too much here. You'll notice as you learn on the notes on your instrument that the 4 notes B sharp, C flat, E sharp, and F flat don't exist. I have trust me on this for now, and I think I kind of went over this. But down at the bottom of the page, you'll see my little arrow going from the top to bottom along this edge. I said just to clarify the statement above: B sharp, C flat, E sharp, and F flat. About them not existing. There are exceptions to this in written music, but we won't be considering those when I called reasonably rare exceptions in this study. Okay, I think I might have kind of went through that already previous lesson, but anyway, we're going to move on. So that was quite a few pages, page 6 to 21, on how to read and play written music. Let's try a sample. Hey, we're going to play one. Okay, excuse me, not a sample, a simple song. It's kind of dark. Usually record with some light and my window open depending on the sun. It's nighttime while I'm recording this one, so we're going to play a simple one with what you've learned up to this point. Page 16, if you look back, showed you the fingering for the high E, which is actually open, and the high F notes, as well as where they are on the music staff. For our first short song, here's another note you'll see on the staff, the D note. See page 18. As well as its fingering, the third finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string. That'll be the B string, and what I just described there is this fingering here, okay? Hopefully you can see that. Good. 2nd string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, okay? That's a D. And so, let's go. Try to play this short song for Edie, okay? Remembering also what you've learned about note types from page 11 and 12, whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and the time signature on page 10 and 11. Remember, the top one tells how many beats per measure, bottom tells what kind of note gets 1 count. So 480 and 4/4 time by myself. Wrote this one special just for the little instructional here. So, okay, I'm going to count this off. 1, 2, ready, play. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. And see if you can play along with me. Just reading, and you have a whole note, 2 quarters and a half, 2 more quarters and a half, and then another whole note. So this is a big hit song here. So 480, ready? 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that should have been fairly easy. You only had 2 different notes as far as pitch, the E and the D. That's why it's called 4ED. Get it? Oh boy, did you figure that out already? So I have next page. Congratulations, you have now played your first song by reading written music. It's a big deal. So, however, and this is so important, before we move on, let's analyze how well you did. First, the easy part. Did you play the correct fingering for the notes? Okay. Wait a second. No, okay, we're good. Did you play the correct fingering for the notes? Like I said, that was kind of the easy part. There was only 2, the E and the D in the song, so you probably did get them right. E was the 1st string, played open, and D was the 2nd string, played by fretting the 3rd with your 3rd fret with your 3rd finger. And you probably got that with no problem. Now we come to the second part, the hard part, the timing. Timing of the notes played. Let's break it down. Let's break down the simple song for Edie, page 21, previous page, by its 4 measures. The first measure, you should have played an E note and let it ring for 4 beats or counts. 1, 2, 3, 4 on that first one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Since it was a whole note, and as we've learned, they get 4 beats per measure. Measure 2, you should have again played an E note, but this time where am I at? But this measure contains 2 quarter notes and a half, so it should have been, you know, I want to make sure I play. I'm kind of playing along as I'm reading. Make sure I'm playing right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the third measure, and that was because since it was a whole note, blah 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 blah. So it's a whole note. Excuse me, 2 quarter notes and a half note. So each the quarters get 1 and the half gets 2, right? And then well, you can read through that whole description of measure 2. Measure 3 was sort of the same thing. You probably noticed as measure 2 that, but it adds a D note. Okay, so measure 2 was 3, 4, and measure 3 was 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the fourth was another whole note back to the E. 1, 2, 3, 4. So very simple, just to make sure that you get it real steady. So play it again with me, okay? I'll count again, and it's super easy, just the E and the D note, but let's count it and make sure you're getting that right before we move on. 1, 2, ready, play. E, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the whole song. It's incredible. How good did you do? Great. I did pretty good, I think. I wrote it, so that doesn't mean much, really. I've forgotten words to songs that I've written, so it happens. Okay, page 23. I think we're good to move on. While this may seem fairly simple, as noted in the previous page, the timing is often, very often, the neglected part of the process. Okay, I've got to check my time here. Okay, we're good. When playing written music, that's, you know, it's often the neglected part of the process. It is important not to overlook this. Just as fingering a note incorrectly produces a wrong pitch, therefore a wrong note, you know, if that note is E and I play it as F, the first, you know, it's wrong even if if I do the timing right, right? Correct, I mean. So, so just as fingering the note incorrectly produces the wrong pitch, giving a written note the wrong number of beats when you play, it also produces an error in timing. So again, it is, even if fingered correctly, it is a wrong note, right? Okay, as about halfway down the page there, as the saying goes, timing is everything. And I said, well, perhaps with regard to music, it's not technically everything. A wrong fingering will produce an equally wrong note, as I just said, but it's too high or too low, so it's wrong, right? But the timing is super important. I want to keep driving this home early in the lesson, the learning process, in order to avoid a bad habit of playing the right fingering, but not playing the right, or paying the right attention, paying enough attention to the timing, okay? I go as far as to say that in music, timing is almost everything, okay? So make it a priority as you progress. I do want to keep checking my time. I think we're pretty good, moving along pretty good here. Okay, let's try some more reading and playing. First, let's see here. Da-da-da-da. Sorry. For this next song, 2 strings, 6 notes. Another one I kind of made up. Is that on the next? Yeah, coming up next page. We're going to use some notes and fingerings you've already learned, the high E and the high F. Page 16, and the D note, page 21. We're also going to use some new notes. New ones are B, the open B or second string, just this. Okay, play that. The second one should sound like that. I assume you tuned up, right? See my tuner? It's on there. I did tune up. Da-da-da. That's a capo on there too. That's another little handy device. We're not going to talk about that just yet. So there they are, written where they are on the staff, and here they are about halfway down the page, a little star. Here they are on the staff, and here they are. Here are the fingerings on your instrument. Okay, there's the nut, always noted again. I said earlier that'd be important. The B is an open, second string. So what we just did, go over to the right is the G, third finger, third string, third finger, third fret, first string, okay? And then the C is the first fret, first finger, second string, okay? Alrighty? Easy enough. So here are the notes that you'll be playing on the staff, okay? So you have B, and I'm going to play them and say them. Say them and play them. B, C, D, E, F, G. Hopefully you can see those pretty well. Second string. B, open, C, first fret, D, third fret, open E, first string, E, F, first fret, and G, third fret, all on the high string, the E string. Okay, given all that information, let's try that famous, I think I gotta turn the page. Let's try that famous tenor guitar / baritone ukulele ditty called 2 strings, 6 notes. Okay, so you might have guessed that's going to be played on 2 strings, and we'll use 6 notes, okay, that we just reviewed. So here we go. I'm going to count them off. It's also in 4/4 time. You always want to look at that first, right at the beginning there. See what 4/4 time. So you got 4 beats of measure. Quarter note gets 1 count. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, and not using a metronome yet. They're very handy. I would encourage you to use them, but let's just go ahead and go on my count. Okay, you ready? 2 strings, 6 notes. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I could try that without counting. Check my time here again. Let's just play it without. I'll count the intro, but I'll just play it, okay? So be on your toes and play along with me. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, so that's exactly how it should have sounded with the count that I gave. Pretty good, I'm assuming. If you played right along with me, you did pretty good. So did you pay extra close attention to your timing, as we discussed on pages 22 and 23? Let's try another that you've probably heard before, Yankee Doodle. But first, let's learn 2 more notes. The lower G string on the the lower G note on the 3rd string, and the A note also on the 3rd string. Actually, the lower G is the 3rd string, open. Okay, so there we go. Whoops. Checking my time, getting a little close. And then the A is the 2nd fret, same string. Okay, and there they are on the staff, and there they are how you play them on the guitar. And I said, just a note here. These 2 quarter notes, G and A, are the first we've encountered that have their stems pointing upward, if you notice, instead of down. So I have the stem shown there. Got about a minute left here, so we're not going to get to play it, but I want to keep reviewing this here. I said the general rule of thumb is that notes above B, the 3rd or middle line of the staff, have their stems pointing downward, and notes below B have their stems pointing upward. It gets a little confusing. The B note itself has a stem pointing upward or down, but it usually points down. Okay, now that you know the G, lower G, and the A notes, let's try Yankee Doodle on the next page. But first, let us close this lesson out. So we're going to move on to, hey, lesson 4, right? Yeah, I think so. Lesson 4, part 1. And so go on over to that one now. Okay, see you there.